Hi FlossTube, it's Stephanie, Miss Oh So Crafty. Welcome back. Thank you to everyone who left a comment and all my subscribers. I'm so excited to be part of this community, and I haven't had a chance to respond to everyone's comment yet, but I will. Things have been kind of crazy for me in the past few weeks personally. Ups and downs, but I've been stitching and I have stuff to share. So today I'll share my whips, and I have an FO to show and an FFO as well. It's old, but it kind of connects with my FO. And I have some haul or stash positions, whichever you prefer. And what else? Oh yeah, I'm going to do a tag, the stitching style tag. So let's get started. I think we'll start with the tag. So I have the questions written down, and excuse me for looking away, but the first one is, what is your favorite fabric to stitch on? And for me, that would be 32 count. Belfast probably. I do like even weave, but Belfast is my fave. And be more specific about it, I really love hand-dyed fabric, or at least fabric that's been, painted or printed to give a sort of hand-dyed effect. Number two, hoop or frame. Well, I've stitched on both. I started out using a hoop, but in recent years, I really love my frame, my scroll frame. In fact, now when I have to stitch in a hoop or in hand, I really kind of dislike it. I use a scroll frame from American Dream Products. It has like Velcro in the rods, so you mount your project with Velcro. And I have lap stands from Kay's Creations, and I have 3 of them actually. I have the extra large one, which works well if you want to like put your fat quarter on in the horizontal manner, or landscape position, if you will. And then I have the standard one, which is great for your fat quarter oriented vertically. And then I have the so-called Z frame, which is like open on the side, and that one comes with a universal clamp, so I can use it with like a hoop, which is nice. You can also use it with a scroll frame, and I like to use that one for small projects. All right, number 3 is, well, I guess I got into that. Stand or hold, yeah. I much prefer using a stand. I'm a two-handed stitcher. I really prefer to stitch two-handed. When I have to stitch one-handed, like when I was working on my little ornament on perforated paper and I had to hold it in my hand, it was pretty annoying just because it was so slow compared to like stitching two-handed. So that is my thing. I like to stitch quickly. Let's see, favorite stitching time. For me, that would probably be nighttime after my baby goes to bed. That's sort of when I can like buckle down and really get down to business. And I can probably get in a good like 3 or 4 hours most times. I'm kind of a night owl, and I tend to stay up too late and fall asleep in my stitching chair. Let's see, printed paper or digital patterns. Well, I do both depending on how I have them. But I do prefer to work off printed paper. It's just easier on my eyes, and I should probably try one of those like apps that I keep hearing about, like Goodreader, I guess it is, or whatever. I use Evernote for my PDF apps, and that doesn't allow you to mark up or anything. So for my PDF patterns, I mean, I use Goodreader, and you can't mark up that way. Just like sort of look at it. So for something with a lot of confetti, like a hate pattern, I definitely prefer it to be printed out because I go at it with my highlighters and stuff like that. Let's see. Number 6, are you a floss licker? Yep, I am a floss licker. I've never even owned a needle threader. I have no idea like how I would even use it. So whatever. Let's see. Number 7, hoard or buy supplies as needed. Well, it depends. When it comes to like patterns, I definitely hoard, and fabric to a certain extent. But for floss, like DMC, I only buy it as needed. I try to keep like a full set of DMC, and then when I'm ready to kit up a project, I check my inventory and see what I need, and then I go and buy it. But I don't have multiple sets of DMC like assigned to every project or whatever. And I do kind of hoard kits, I suppose. I have a lot of kits, and if I see something I love, I tend to buy it. Even if I'm not going to stitch it immediately, because I know that when kits go discontinued, they get really expensive on eBay, so I'd rather just buy it when I can with a coupon or whatever. Let's see. what is your favorite floss? I'm going to say DMC. I love DMC. It's easy to work with. It's cheap. It's widely available. A lot of times on patterns that call for specialty threads, sometimes I switch them out for DMC. I take a really hard look at the pattern and see where the variegation is really evident. And then if variegation is key, then I'll buy that hand-dyed floss. But if it's like white, for example, then I'm just going to use DMC blank because I'm kind of cheap about it, you know, and I don't want to like have a vast collection of specialty threads that I'm not going to use. I mean, I do have some that just sort of like sit in my craft room that are like left over from other projects. So let's see, serial starter or whip at a time. Well, recently, I guess in 2016, you could say I've been a serial starter. Before that, I mean, I was never exactly a whip at a time. I had my whips, but I was more like a finish one, start one, or even finish two, then start one. The problem is I did that long enough, and then I got down to, say, the bottom of my whip pile, where the only things left were things that I wasn't really all that excited about working on. So 2016 seemed like a really good time to do the year starts. And I'm planning to start 16 this year, or possibly more. We'll see. So far, I've started 5. Okay, more floss, more FOs or more UFOs or FFOs. Definitely more FFOs. I've got cross-stitch framed all over my house, and I've done gifts and stuff as well. I mean, you can see 2 on the wall behind me. The one I'm pointing at there, that is Unicorn Mystique, which is a sunset kit, and at some point I'll give you a closer view. And then the one over there is Waiting for Miss, and that's by Character Creations. I think that one's discontinued. That was my first like computer generated pattern. Very proud of it. It took forever though. Lots of confetti. All right, let's see. Do you watch TV while stitching? Yeah, definitely. I don't really like to stitch in silence, so I either watch TV or floss tube or music. I don't watch the music. I like to listen to the music, and I've even done some audiobooks in the past, but probably music is like my old standby. So number 12. Do you mostly stitch alone or get together with other stitchers? Mostly alone. I mean, I have gotten together with other stitchers, but it's kind of like a few and far between sort of scenario. Mostly I stitch alone. I am looking forward to the Mirabilia retreat in April, where I'll have a chance to meet lots of other stitchers and stitch with them, so that'll be fun. Number 13, do you like to experiment and alter a chart or stitch it as written? Well, I mean both. I tend to pick patterns that I absolutely love, and I'm kind of choosy about what I start. So I don't, like, for example, just like start something that I kind of like because it would fit into a stitch along or whatever. Like I only stitch things that I absolutely love. But that said, I do alter things. I mean, for example, like in my last video, I showed you how I made the Mediterranean Mermaid Blonde, and I usually change like the fabric something's stitched on, especially Mirabilias. I think they look beautiful on hand-dyed fabric, and not necessarily always like neutrals the way they're usually displayed on the pattern photo. So I'm not averse to making changes. Number 14, do you bobbinate? Not exactly. I use stitch bows, which are kind of like bobbins, not exactly. When it comes to like hand-dyed floss, no. I just sort of use it, unravel it and use it as it comes, and then tie up whatever I have left over with my original. I really love the Gloriana for that reason, because, let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. The Gloriana comes with 2 holes in it. So on one side of this card, you can see I have the bulk of the floss, and then on the other side, this little bit is what I was like working with, basically. All right, number 15, do you start in the middle or in the corner? My preference is to start in the middle, but depending on the chart, I will start in the corner especially if it's like confetti heavy or if it's like a sampler type thing. It kind of depends on the situation. Number 16, do you have a whip rotation? Yes, indeed. I have adopted I always kind of rotated, but this year I've adopted a more formal, planned rotation. What I do is I rotate weekly, and then I also have a few weekends a month that are devoted to particular projects. And so those would be the first weekend of the month, I work on the 12 Days of Christmas. And then the third weekend of the month, I work on Love with a capital L. And that's just because I want to finish these projects in a timely fashion, so I want to make sure that, I get to them on a regular basis. And then, let's see. Oh yeah, number 17, do you use a timekeeper? No, not exactly. I mean, I do record the date that I start a project. I have this massive spreadsheet that I started keeping many years ago, like way before the app era. So a lot of people talk about the cross stitch app or whatever, and I use my spreadsheet, which predates all that. And in there, I record like my starting date and stuff like that. But it might be kind of depressing to see like how many hours I spend on my projects, because I do tend to stitch large things. So I'm happy just sort of knowing the dates. I don't need to know exactly how many hours I spent. Number 18, parking. Do you park? Yeah, I do, and especially like on like my Heaven and Earth designs, I definitely park in the established manner, and then even in other stuff, I sort of do my own version of parking, which I started doing it with kits, where like when you're working with floss, there's no easy way to like sort of put your leftovers with the unused floss. I would just, if I had a decent length of floss left on my needle, I would just sort of park it in the bottom left corner of my last stitch, and that way it would be on the fabric and I could get to it easily if I wanted to use that color in another section or whatever. So when you see lots of threads hanging off my projects, that's what it is. Number 19, do you keep orts? No. Kind of goes back to what I just mentioned about the parking. I'm pretty miserly with my floss, and I tend to use like pretty much like every last inch of it that I can until such time I'm ready to like clean up, and then I might clip off longer lengths, but I toss them. I'm not really interested in keeping them. I do stitch a lot, and I would probably have like a huge ort collection. I don't really need it, so let's see, number 20. Do you like to snack or drink when you stitch? Well, I usually have a glass of water with my stitching, and sometimes in the winter I'll do a hot chocolate, and at night I like to put like a little shot of something hard in my hot chocolate, like Kahlua or something, but I try to like enjoy that before I sit down to stitch, because I really don't want hot chocolate dripping onto my project or whatever. And as for snacking, no. I mean, I want my hands to be clean, so I will sometimes snack, but I'll make sure that I wash my hands before I get back to my project. And that's it for the stitching style tag, which was initially by Pam Reed. So thank you, Pam, for your questions. And let's move on to my whips. So the last time we talked, I was getting ready to work on my 12 Days of Christmas project. So 12 Days of Christmas looks like this. Design Works kit. And here is my whip. So I will insert a picture of what it looked like last time. Here we go. So I worked on the top section mainly, and I finished that angel, which was a pain. I'd only sort of allocated a weekend for this project, but it took the entire week just because I had a lot of stuff going on, and stitching the mirror image was kind of a slog, and plus that area is full coverage, and there's a lot of changes there. And then I worked on the borders a little bit and stitched in like the red outline of another block, and I put the metallics in the top section. So I'm happy with my progress, and I will get back to this in, I guess, the third weekend in March. Hopefully I'll be able to knock out that block with the bluebirds. You can kind of see the 4 birds like sketched out there, and maybe even start on the 5 golden rings, which will be in the empty block. So I don't expect that I would get to the metallics, though. That will probably have to wait for another time. Alright, so after that, I worked on something that I finished, so we'll say that for last, but I worked on my Love with a capital L project. I'll insert a pic of what it looked like before. And here's where we are now. So I worked across to the far side over here, and I worked on this like band across. I kind of wanted to work all the way across, but I just sort of like ran out of stamina. I find this project, and I worked on the border as well, this one over here, and all this stuff, these motifs, and I finished It Keeps No Record of Wrong. In this level, I got pretty sick of stitching it is not, but I don't think there's any more of that in the sampler, so that's good. I don't know. I mean, this project, I find it, sometimes it's really soothing to work on it, and other times it's just so boring. So I don't know. I guess I'm not really a sampler girl at heart, but I do like the way this is working up. So I will keep at it the first weekend of each month, and it would be great to finish it this year. So my plan is to sort of take stock in mid-year and figure out what I need to do to get it finished in 2016. And then also pretty soon I think I need to chart the, I'm going to add an additional section at the bottom with some wedding details, so I need to figure that out. And then finally I started a new project, and that was Happy by ThemStitches on Etsy. I will insert a photograph. It's a digital pattern, and I worked on it about a week. And this is where I got Happy. So I've never, I haven't seen the Despicable Me movie, but I do think the Minion is cute and everything, and this is going to be a gift. I'm going to put it in my mystery box. So the gift was something Minion themed. So I stitched Mira Minion 2016 there at the bottom, and I'm stitching this on 34 count cream linen. It's not done yet. There's supposed to be a orange section at the top that says because, and I went to 2 different local craft stores, Michael's or AC Moore or whatever, looking for that floss, and neither of them had it. It's $7.40 I think. So I ordered it from 123 Stitch, and their shipping is pretty quick, so hopefully it'll come soon and I can finish that off. And I need to do a bit more of the yellow on his face and his arm. But I think this is a really cool little pattern, and it was pretty fun to work on. And also he needs hair, so that's black and dark gray, and I had to fill in the yellow first because I don't like to run darker colors under lighter colors, especially not on a light fabric like this. So now for the FO, I worked on Celtic Christmas. I'll insert a picture of what it looked like last time. And she's finished! Yay! I'm gonna have to back up so you can see it. There we go. So this project involves, this is stitched on 28 count cream cashel. And let's see if I can get close and show you some of the beads. You see the beads in her dress. And all the beads in the border. There are 1,250 beads in this project, so it is quite extensive. And I chose to stitch her on 28 count because I stitched her sister Celtic Spring on 28 count. Not thrilled with the coverage of the DMC on the 28, but it looks fine from further away, and it'll be fine once it's framed and everything. So this took, I started her in 2013, but I didn't touch her at all until 2015. So it took like, let's say 4 weeks maybe, four rotations, 4 one-week rotations to finish, plus a few days for the beading. The beading's extensive, like I mentioned. I'm super happy that she's done, and I want to show you my Celtic Spring FFO. So I will run and get that. I'm back. Here is Celtic Spring. Sorry for the glare. But I finished her in 2004, and I think, or sorry, 2006. She was the first project that I ever stitched on linen. She's on 28 count cashel in the willow green colorway by Zweigart. And if you want to give linen a try, I definitely recommend cashel by Zweigart. Sorry. I think it's easy to count, and it's just a nice fabric. So I didn't have any issues sort of transitioning to the, working over 2 threads or whatever. It was cool. I really love this project. She hangs in my living room most of the year. I do put Royal Holiday in her place during the Christmas season. And she's double matted. The upper mat is a suede, a purple suede. This was one of the first projects that I framed for myself, and of course I had to jump in the deep end, like cutting a suede mat and everything, but it worked out, and I really love her. And I'm excited about stitching the other Celtic ladies. So next up I'm going to do Celtic Autumn, and that with the green-orange color conversion. And I will start her this year, perhaps during May for Stitch Mania. So we will see. So how about my haul? I do have a few things. So I ordered from 123 Stitch, and I got these beads, sort of a greenish kind of bronze color, 3037. I need these to finish Midsummer Night Fairy. I also got some 557 beads to finish Celtic's Christmas, but those are, I don't have them with me, sorry. And then from them I also got this tacky bob case. This is for the mystery box. I love my tacky bob case. I consider it pretty much indispensable for any project with a significant amount of beading, so I would be personally thrilled to receive this, and I hope that whoever gets the mystery box will be happy too. And then I got these little scissors. They're called mini gems or whatever, and they're supposedly airplane friendly, so these are for the mystery box too. And I got this little This is from eBay, actually. Blooming Stitches Needlework. Isn't this pretty the way it's wrapped up? It came with a little sucker and everything. But it's the, I don't really want to take it out of the plastic, so I might put it in the mystery box, but it's the Mill Hill Sail Away kit. It's like a little sailboat, and it's really pretty. But I'm not quite sure if I'm going to put this in the mystery box. I don't know. Initially I was thinking I would stitch it up, but the minion is taking a bit longer than I thought it might, so I don't know. We'll see. And then back to 1, 2, 3 stitch, I got this pretty fabric. This is called Dwarf. It's Belfish from Picture This Plus. It's a pretty sort of like gray blue. Really nice. And I'm intending to use this for the Spirit of Christmas by Lavender and Lace. That will be another one of my starts for Stitch Mania. And then my pattern haul. So I got this book off of eBay, Magical Cross Stitch. I got it for a song because the back is all ripped up, but I don't care because the patterns are perfectly legible. And this has a number of cool patterns in it. I think this one is nice, the Rainbow Pegasus. But I primarily bought it for this pattern. This is Joan Elliott's Sleeping Beauty. She has another Sleeping Beauty, but I like this one better because you can see the thorns that are growing in the castle behind her. I think that's cool. And let's see if there's anything else. There are these nice goddesses in here. Here's the Earth Goddess. This one is really cool. Phoenix Rising. Love that. Here's the Dark Sorceress. She's probably my favorite of all the sorceresses. And there's some other stuff. Dragon of the Sea. Let's see if I can... There we go. Dragon of the Sea. That's kind of cool. Sort of a Chinese design. Here's the last goddess, the Fairy Queen. She's nice too. Love her. The dress, the purples in the dress. This design is pretty cool. Wizard Magic. I think that's neat. And then there's this mermaid design. Mermaid enchantment. So there's a lot of cool stuff in this book, and it was definitely worth the $5 or whatever I paid for it. And then something else I got off eBay is the Thomas Kincaid Snow White from the Disney Dreams collection. And this is from a kit, but it's just the original pattern. No fabric or floss or whatever. Which is fine because I would prefer to kit it up by myself anyway, and this was only like $5 or whatever, which is great price for the pattern. And I love these Disney Dream designs. I have a bunch of the kits, but I didn't have this one, so I snapped it up. And then another eBay transaction. This is Marty Bell's Miss Hathaway's Garden, and I've been there. This is in England, and it looked pretty much just like this when I was there. I got there first thing in the morning, and there were nobody to be seen at the time, and it was springtime. All the flowers were blooming, and it was beautiful. So I would like to stitch this one day. It's a pretty major project, though. The stitch count is 325 by 200. And there's a ton of colors and maybe some blends too. I don't know, but it looks like probably like 100 colors easily. So we'll see one of these days. And then this I got off eBay as well. This is the Just Cross Stitch magazine from February 2002, and you can see this Good Morning Rooster design on the cover. That's by Prairie Schooler, but that's not really why I bought the magazine. I bought it for this one, the Passion for Plums Pillow. This is by Donna Vermillion Giampa, and I just have this idea. She has a bunch of these, and I have a lot of them, like that are ripped out of magazines, different fruits and stuff. I would love to stitch all of them for like my living room sofa or whatever, but we'll see. And then there's this other really pretty small design in here. This is a scissor fob by Ursula Michael, I guess. Yeah, Ursula Michael, and it's really pretty. It's got like beads and really pretty cording, and there's instructions for how to like make the cording and everything. So I don't know if I'll ever stitch that, but I think it is really pretty. And then some stuff I forgot to show you last time. This is Darkwing Manor by Praiseworthy Stitches. I picked it up when I saw it on clearance at Needlecraft Corner. I've had my eye on these haunted houses for a long time, and at half price it was tough to pass up. So it's a pretty involved pattern, and it does involve like a $35 button pack from Jabco. So I don't know if I'll be doing that. I probably will, but it's not a high priority yet. And then a few things from Miss Joan Elliott. Air Goddess. You've seen my whip of this. Isn't she pretty? And Earth Goddess. Take her out of the plastic. Here we go. So I'm hoping to get this one started this year. Hoping to finish Air like before July. So if I do finish her this year, I'll definitely be starting Earth Goddess next. And then I have a treasure trove of magazines. Cross Stitch Collection magazines. And I think I'll share these next time because I decided to give up stash buying for Lent. And there are a few exceptions to that, like I will buy a little bit of DMC or something that I need to finish a current project, or if I'm stitching a gift, then I'll buy stuff for that, but I'm not buying any more like patterns or fabric or beads or whatever just for my stash. So I'll talk about these next time, and there are some really beautiful patterns inside, so that will be fun. And I guess that's about it. So for next time, I plan to work on the Midsummer Night Fairy. I want to finish her. Requires some more beading. And I'll be working probably on Air Goddess this last week in February. And what else? The 12 Days of Christmas again, that first weekend in March. And maybe something else. We'll see what I get to. So thanks for watching, and it's been fun. So happy stitching, everyone, and I'll see you in a few weeks. Bye.